Hi, I'm Mike Truland. I'm going to escort you on this history tour of Sun City, Carolina Lake. Every time you come into the lake house, you've walked past a shiny shovel which commemorates the original building, groundbreaking of Sun City, Carolina Lake on June 29, 2005.
Okay.
On May 2nd, 2001, Pulte Homes Corporation merged with the Del Webb Corporation and its communities throughout the United States. At that time, the Del Webb people had been considering a location to purchase land somewhere in the Charlotte, North Carolina area to establish a new Del Webb community for active adults. Once the Pulte Del Webb people had determined where they wanted to build their new community, the task was to acquire the land. But what was on this property before development has a very interesting history. Apparently, at one time, there were some Native American villages on this land, but during a dispute over the land with the state of South Carolina, the natives were moved across the river to York County in what is now called the Catawba Indian Reservation. There are a few areas in Sun City, Carolina Lakes that are currently fenced off, which may contain Indian relics from these villages. The area back by the river, at the end of River Road, was named Turkey Point by the Spanish back in the 1500s because from the river it looked like a turkey. In the 1800s, this land was owned by Adam Ivy and Dr. James Nisbet. Then in 1955, a large portion of the land was sold to Harry Lee Bowers and smaller portions to the Hall Johnson family. Bowers, known as HL, had bought 50 acres of land in the Lancaster County Panhandle in 1955 for about $150 an acre. When he died, he left his 2 sons and 2 daughters the land, much of which is now part of Sun City, Carolina Lakes. Most of the lakes the Bowers family created on the property remain intact today, drawing both wildlife and human life to this community. When construction began at Sun City, Carolina Lakes in June 2005, 12 years after Sun City Hilton Head had opened, it was the first Sun City to be built in South Carolina after Pulte Homes bought and merged with the Del Webb Corporation in 2001. The first Pulte get-together for prospective buyers in November 2005 was held at the Ballantine Resort in Charlotte. Some of the speakers included Brooke Moore, who would become the first lifestyle director, David Vitek, Vice President of Pulte Operations for the Charlotte area, and Mark O'Brien. By January 2006, the prospective buyers, referred to as VIPs, were given a website where they could view plats, floor plans, and community information. As VIPs, they initially met in a tent near the sales center, which was under construction, as were some of the model homes. After listening to a few talks, the VIPs received papers showing pod and lot numbers, lot premiums, types of homes to be built, the river, summit, or manor collection, and information such as model elevations to select from for each home. This information applied to pods A, B, C, D, and E. The VIPs could ride a shuttle to pods B and D, or they could walk. Pod C was partly a field near the future villas site, where many of the cars were parked and lots were not yet marked. Prospective purchasers could not get to Pod E, as the bridge from Pod D had not yet been built. Pulte offered only 450 home sites for sale during the initial February 2006 get-togethers. 320 lots were sold during the first 2 weekends, and in total, Pulte sold 437 homes over the 4 VIP weekends in February, which was an historic record for Del Webb that dates back to the late 1960s. On May 17, 2006, Gail Norris became the first to go to settlement on an SCCL home, but she did not move in for another 6 weeks. By May 24, 2006, Pod A had 4 occupied homes. Carmel Gray and Ed and Pat Nemitz moved into the main section of Pod A on Azalea Drive. Ed and Kathy Burton, along with Bob and Perrette Tompkins, moved into Little A on Grandview Drive West. These first 4 SCCL households, Gray, Nimitz, Burton, and Tompkins, were truly the pioneers of our community. They paved the way for future residents and worked out the kinks that came along the way. They learned how to obtain trash cans, made sure of mail delivery, found the recycling facility, and got rid of moving boxes, paid county taxes in the city of Lancaster, and obtained driver's licenses at the State Department of Motor Vehicles in Pageland. The week after the first ones moved in, TV and newspaper reporters interviewed them as the first residents moving into Sun City, Carolina Lakes. In those early days, Sun City, Carolina Lakes had no amenity center, and the golf course was still under construction. Residents had to find their own entertainment. They could go fishing, walking, or bicycling on the cart paths of the golf course, which was finally completed in December 2006. But they generally did not do that during the day with all of the construction underway. They waited until after dinner. Meanwhile, the Lancaster County Sheriff would ride around the neighborhood in the evenings to make sure they were okay. Sometimes the new homeowners would sit at the end of their driveway and talk to people walking by the house. The first clubs did not become active until August 2006, and club members met after hours in the sales center. Among the first clubs to form were Texas Canasta, Bible Study, and Mahjong. Members met either in the kitchen or in the big open area. Brooke Moore, the original lifestyle director, also arranged outings that summer for residents and soon-to-be residents. They called the arrangements Life Without Walls and met on the grounds of the sales center in rented tents. The pioneers met a lot of people, and beginning later that summer or early fall, they attended vendor breakfasts at the sales center on Monday mornings every 2 to 3 months. The breakfasts introduced residents and future residents to local businesses from Lancaster, Fort Mill, Indian Land, and Ballantyne. Those who attended received door prizes. The golf course did not open until December 14, 2006. The first day was open only to SCCL owners, and it was very foggy that morning as golfers tried to figure out the layout of the first hole. The next day, the golf course opened to the public. In those days, golfers met in a trailer located at the end of the parking lot, next to the path leading across the road to the first hole. The new golf clubhouse would not be finished until April 2007. The first amenity center, the Lake House, opened on May 19, 2007, with a grand opening celebration held on the back lawn near the lake. Tables lined the whole asphalt path. Residents picnicked, listened to music, and toured the new amenity center, which included an indoor and an outdoor pool. In 2009, 3 years after the pioneers moved in, there were about 1,500 households and some 2,700 residents living in Sun City, Carolina Lakes. Residents could choose from among over 100 clubs, with still more to come. Still to be constructed were the bridge to Turkey Point, which included access to the Water's Edge recreation area and 10 phases of homes. The retail shopping area just outside our gates opened in phases and contained not only a full-size Harris Teeter supermarket, but also stores and places such as a CVS pharmacy, a BB&T bank, a medical office building, a Bank of America ATM, a UPS store, a veterinary hospital, and a number of eateries, including Wendy's and Johnny's Red Bowl restaurant. From the early days of muddy clay roads and endless construction in 2006, the pioneers have watched this community grow over the past 10 years. Sun City, Carolina Lakes has become a large, bustling community, alive and thriving with more than 100 clubs and interest groups, miles of hiking trails, a second amenity center including a second outdoor pool, a woodworker's shop, a dog park, a softball field, tennis, pickleball, and bocce courts, community gardens, horseshoe pits, a grandparents' park, a boathouse and pavilion, and shopping and medical facilities just outside the gates. The surrounding area in the Panhandle has grown as well and promises to become even more vibrant with new housing communities, restaurants, shopping, and a movie theater just a few miles away. The final buyers of the last Pulte home sites and homes settled on their property in September 2016, bringing the total to 3,162 homes. They came to Sun City, Carolina Lakes for pretty much the same reason as the early pioneers. It's all about the lifestyle here. The draw of an active adult community near a booming metropolitan city of Charlotte, North Carolina, with an international airport, continues to attract active seniors from all over the country. Sun City, Carolina Lakes homeowners continue to remember the past while embracing the new and planning for the future. Where will the next 10 years take us? The story will be written by all who call Sun City, Carolina Lakes home today and in the years to come.